So, Windows 10 is end of life. Don't want to pay that $30 for that year of extended service? You don't want to be data mined. So, what options do you have? You have Mac, shovel out at least twice as much as you would for a new Windows PC, or buy a used system, which is out of date, no longer supported, and you'd probably end up putting links on there anyways. Great options. But then there's Linux. Linux allows you to put your old system to use. Today, I'm going to show you how to install Fedora Linux. Fedora Linux is a Linux distribution that is really good, in my opinion. You have, go down to the bottom down here. You have all the spins down here. XFCE, Cinnamon Desktop, Mate, i3 Tiling Window Manager, LXQT, LXDE, SOAS, Sway, Budgie, Miracle, KDE Mobile, and the Cosmic Desktop. Those are all the spins. You have, oh geez, there's that glitch again. If you keep spinning it around, it keeps doing it. Why does it do that? Beginning to think that's a feature and not a glitch. Anyways, back to what we're talking about. You have the additions, the Atomic Desktops, spins, and the labs. Additions is Workstation, which is GNOME, KDE Plasma, then you have the server, the cloud, and core OS and IoT. Today, I'm going to show you how to install their Workstation. If you want a game on Fedora, to borrow, hands down. Now, Bazite is based on it, and it's based on the Atomic Desktop. Either Silver Blue or Kanote. I'm drawing a blank. Let's find out real fast. I think Kanote. Kanote, yeah. It's based on Kanote. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the Workstation, which is GNOME. And your documentation is over here, which will show you how to set it up, download it, and install it. A lot of people are visual, so we're going to show you how to do it today. So basically, just download it. You have Intel AMD x86-64 systems, Fedora Workstation 42 Live ISO, and PowerPC 64 systems. That would go on like your older Macs. And you have ARM, like Raspberry Pi. But we're gonna stick with the x86-64 systems because that's like what 90 to 95% of the computers out there run on. And it'll take about 8 minutes with my connection. And as soon as it's done, we'll be right back. I'll put it in a VM and show you how to go through the installation process. So you've got it downloaded. Fedora has its own media writer, and what that does is you take a USB thumb drive, stick it in your USB, one of your USB ports, go to Fedora Workstation, obviously, and then right here, you want to click on this link, and that'll take you right straight to it. And what this is a github.com Fedora Qt Media Writer release /stage or /tag /5.2.8. And then you want to go down to, for Windows, Fedora Media Writer Win64-5.2.8.exe. Now, I've never done this process, so if you choose this one, you're on your own. Now, I have used Balana Etcher. Go to etcher.balana.io /download-etcher. And be careful with going on these websites because there's a lot of spoofed websites out there that, not spoofed, but mimicked websites out there that have malware injectors built into the USB writers or the ISO writers for the USB drives. And they'll give your system a bunch of viruses or lock it up or completely encrypt the drive, depending on how malicious they want to be. So go to Etcher, and for Windows, the top one, Etcher for Windows x86, x64 installer. Click download in that. Now, if you're on Mac and you see this and you want to try it, there's the Mac one. ARM64. If you're on ARM64, you're pretty well assumed that you're fluent in Linux already, because a lot of this ARM systems, you got to do some terminal tweaking there to get things to work. Not always, but depending on your use case scenarios, because a lot of the ARM systems are SBCs, and if you don't know what SBC is, it's a single board computer. Like Raspberry Pi, you can install one of the operating systems on it, and you get to program, mess around, and like for instance, you can use to control servo motors, that kind of stuff, lights, etc., etc. And then you have the Linux 64 zip, which is Linux, and then you have the x86 app image. I haven't been able to get to work correctly lately, but for me, what I'm used to is Bologna Etcher. Come on, get off there. Come on, go. It's smaller. Smaller. There we go. Man, that's getting really irritating. So I'm going to go ahead and download that. Then I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay, Etcher's done downloading. Open that bad boy up. Where is it? Already got a copy. Anyways, you want to extract it. And I'm not sure if I can get this to here. Okay, we want to extract. It wants to know where we want to extract it to. And I don't have much in my documents folder, so we'll extract it over there. There we go. All right, for Linux, you have to choose your own folder. Click extract. And then it'll extract it out for you. And for some reason, it's not working. Oh, I'm on Bazite. Let's pause this, see if I can get this to work. Well, 15 minutes later, and I figured out that because the Bazite's immutable, there's a lot of things it doesn't want to run. Oh boy. I mean, it's good for new people, but for somebody like me who's used to just getting in there and doing things, it becomes frustrating. I think it's Bazite. Trust me, it's a great distribution. It's just not my cup of tea. All right. Anyways, I got it extracted finally. So I'm going to go in here and run it. So I can this one. Execution of the program. Now I can drop it down here, and this should work. And it did. Open up on the other window though. Okay, this is Bologna Etcher. Finally, sorry about that. On Windows, it'll just open up for you. On Linux, normally it'll just open up for you. But it's a immutable distribution, which means the core functionality of it isn't there. It won't allow it to talk to the system. At least for Arc is what I'm talking about. Not Bologna Etcher itself. It will ask for permission to get into there, and it should work. And I'm going to try this here in a second. So, just to make sure this does work, you want to click on Flash File. You want to find your ISO. Fedora workstation or Nobara if you're into gaming. One right there, it's Nobara. Click on it. On Windows download stuff too. But find it there, click open, and it'll select target. And when you do this, make 100% positive you're not doing this to your hard drive or your M.2 drive or NVMe or your SSD that you have your main operating system on, because it will mess up your system. This is my 16 gigabyte USB drive. I click on that. Click on the one that you have. Select one, and then click flash. In Linux, it's going to ask for authorization. For Windows, I'm sure it's going to ask for, pretty sure it's going to ask for authorization. I don't remember. It's been so long since I've used it. And everything on Windows for permission is 777, which allows everything. That's why it gets viruses all the time. On Linux, it's 666, which is denying everything. So type in your password if you're in Linux. Type your password in on Windows if you need to. Okay, let's try this again. That was weird. I've never seen that before. Okay, now you want to flash. When you click flash, it's going to ask you for your password. Must have been a timeout on it. I sat there too long. And it's starting. And as soon as it's done, you're ready to go. Almost. And I'll be back in just a moment after this thing's done. Yeah, you got it on your drive if you use Etcher. You got it on your drive if you use Fedora Writer. Now, another way you can do it for Windows is download Rufus. Now I've used Rufus a few times, and this one is the one you want. The top one. But make sure you go to rufus.ie/en/ that's it. There is about, here, let me show you. See, rufus.ensoftSonic.com. Ooh. CNET's got it too. Microsoft Store's got it. Rufus. FileWave's got it. Portable Apps has got it. You want to go to your source every time you download something out of the repositories. You don't want to go anywhere else, because chances are you're going to end up with a virus, some malware, something. So you click on this link right here, the Rufus link, which is rufus.ie, and then there you are. And it's the top one. Now I'm going to go ahead and download this because I got another video I'm going to do that's going to be Windows related. But all right, now I've got all that set up and ready to go. You're ready to stick that thing in there. Next, you want to look at your manufacturer's specifications for getting into your BIOS. When you go into your BIOS, you want to disable secure boot in order to get Linux on there. Otherwise, you'll be able to install it and it will not boot. The machine will not boot the operating system at all. After you disable secure boot, you want to, geez, I have so many windows open. You want to start your machine up. And I'm going to go ahead and put this in a VM, and I'll be right back. Now, if you use Blon Etcher, this will be the next screen you see, flash completed. Just go ahead and close that out. Do what you got to do to eject it. Where is it? There it is right there. For Linux Mountain Open, you don't need to do that. I can just pull it right out of my drive and set it right there because that's the only one I got left. All the other ones are broken. Okay. Okay. Once you restart your machine, you should see a bunch of scary text scrolling down the screen, and then it should stop at this. Now, I recommend that you have the second option, test the media and start Fedora Workstation Live, because if there's any issues with it, like it happened to have gotten corrupted in the process of downloading it or in the process of flashing it to the USB drive, this should pick it up. And then you'd have to go either get a new drive, USB drive, or re-download it. I would start with re-downloading it and redoing the process again. If it goes through, great. If not, then it's got to be your USB drive. I'd grab another one and do it all over again. We got this in a virtual machine, so we're choosing the first one. And this is going to take a moment to fire it up because it's in a VM. I'm going to go and pause it. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward it. That way you can see it. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and just choose Install Fedora. It'll go straight to the desktop. And the United States. Hard disk. Now, if you want to encrypt your data, go ahead. If you forget the password for it, won't be able to get back into the hard drive. Be forewarned. Let's see. Format XT4 boot. Yeah, that looks right. And they're separating root from home, which is a good thing. That way you can, if you want a dual boot, you can just leave the entry. When you go to set it up on custom for the hard drive, you can point it to this one and all your data and files will still be there. Erase data and install. And this is going to take a few minutes because it's in a VM. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. And I'm just going to go quickly through what they have installed here. Calculator, contacts, weather, clocks, maps. Very functional, not as aesthetically pleasing as Google Maps is. This is minus a few things, but it's worked really well. There's the Fedora Media Writer. And it's going to open it up. We're still, there it is. This is what it looks like. Download automatically. Select ISO. It's I don't have anything inside the VM to run this, so we'll go ahead and close that out. Document scanner settings, and Linux has way better printer scanning support than Windows does. Let me tell you. We got videos, camera, characters, utilities, connections. That's for the internet. Document viewer, fonts, and image viewer. This logs. It's for your system logs. And this shows you where they're at least for this one. Tells you what didn't load, what failed to load. Pull that back out. LibreOffice is installed by default. And there's all that. There's the terminal and the text editor, software center. I'm not going to open that up because that will take forever. You can, when you get a chance, you can tip through the tulips on that. And yeah, I recommend going through that and seeing what programs you can find and what you can use instead of using Windows programs. Click on the tour. Learn about the key features in Fedora Linux 42 Workstation Edition. Get an overview. The overview shows all your apps in Windows. Press the super key, and that's what I've been pressing to get the overview to come up. To search, just start typing in the overview. You can use search to launch apps, find files, perform calculations, and more. They're organized. Swipe up and down if you're on a laptop with hand gestures. And I like the GNOME desktop for on laptops. It works way better than the normal desktop does, in my opinion. That's it. And I'll show you the search feature up here. Virtual, that shows up boxes, web, Firefox, parental controls. Parents out there want to put a damper on your kids' day? That's the program to do it. Then you got camera. If you have a camera installed in your system, files, or all your documents and stuff. We're on the dark style. I thought this was mixed because it came up white. Okay, let's reboot it and see if she boots, because this is in a VM. No guarantees. Okay. Now the reason they're rebooted is because you're gonna have to set up your username and password and your keyboard and all that good stuff. They separated it, made it different. This is more like an old OEM installation from the manufacturer. So we're English and the United States. Looks good to me. Yep, that looks good. Location services allows apps to determine your geographical location. Now, if you don't want that to happen, just tick these off or tick the top one off. Automatic problem reporting. So the technical report that does not contain personal information. Data is collected by Fedora Linux. You can turn that off if you want. You're privacy orientated. But if you're going to have problems, in order to report it, you got to be able to know what you're doing. Just telling you. Please search for your nearby city. Los Angeles. In my time zone. Enable third-party repositories. Yes. You're new to Linux and you're on Fedora. Definitely enable these. Now, Fedora is all about open source and using open source software. That's a good thing. But with that being said, there's a lot of proprietary drivers, extensions that'll allow you to play simple things like music or watch videos that are proprietary, and they're in the third party repositories. So I would definitely enable those. Click on that. Click next. Type in your name that you want to use. Me. That's me. Type in your super secret strong password. It will never, ever, ever be able to be hacked. It's definitely not 1234. And then start using Fedora Linux. Now they're going to make us take the tour. And we've been through this, so we can close that out. And up here is your desktops. And there's two ways you can do it. By clicking on it, and going to it, and Say we want to open up Firefox here. Okay. They want to open up a text editor, but I don't want it on the same desktop. I want to keep flipping back and forth. And it will create new ones automatically. So you have a spare one in case you need it. And that's it. That's how you install a Fedora-based Linux operating system on your computer. I hope this was helpful. Linux is a journey. It's a learning journey. And it's an opportunity for people to get themselves off of Windows, which has been far too long dominant, and stealing your personal information and selling it. If you don't think that's happening, I'm sorry to tell you, but they've been doing it for at least the last decade. Anyways, like I said, hopefully this was helpful and at least a little bit enjoyable. If you liked what you seen, like and subscribe. Spread the channel around like social disease or not. Your choice. I'll see you next time. I gotta find a better ending here. Jesus, I'm bad.